go around table style one at a time and give our most anticipated games for 2024. Already on the schedule, we have the conference schedule out. You have non-conference games that are going to be exciting. Jake, you lead it off, then we'll go to JP, and then I'll round it out, and we'll keep going around until we run out. But Jake, lead us off with your most anticipated games in 2024.
I wrote down just one, Jake. Don't do the 1A, 1B bullshit.
Yeah, he always does.
You guys are gonna be upset. You guys,
you get one.
You
get to say one. You talk about one.
We're gonna mute him. Don't.
I can't mute you.
Let me talk first. You can go JP first. That's fine. Okay. But bring it, or you can save mine to the end. You can just save mine.
You have one. To the end. I have four.
You have one.
I didn't write down a ton. I wrote.
You guys should all go first.
Just I focus Jake, all mine on the non-conference
one of y'all
side, JP.
Says some silly ass name. I'll go first here. This is an earlier one in the year. I'll go first because I assume it's going to get picked later. Texas at Michigan, September 7th. For a couple of reasons, right? Like this is pretty early in the year. All of the ones I have on my list is the team that I most like has the biggest expectations on the year and will be ranked higher are going on the road. So Texas at Michigan. Texas is going to be favored in that one. You get the first look at Michigan and what they're going to look like. I assume Alex Orji will be the quarterback there. What does that look like against a really good defense for Texas? How does Texas look like in first road test going up there? So I put Texas, Michigan, because I think it'll – in the 12-team playoff, a loss here for Texas doesn't kill them, but it definitely hurts them going into an SEC schedule that's already tough for them. Michigan, this could put you in a spot where 9-3 might get you in a playoff. You win this one. So
yeah, I like
Texas at Michigan, September 7th.
Jake, you probably had that one on yours too, no?
Yep, I did. That was a good one.
Good. I'm probably going to eat another one here. Mine's week 3. I think you're going to learn a lot about a team in the Big Ten and even more about pretty much their first test in Alabama, Wisconsin, week 3 in Camp Randall. So this is going to be an absolute barn burner. You get to see first-year coach Kalen DeBoer against a Power 4 school. Then you get to see kind of how Luke Fickell and his gang reacts in his second year when they really didn't have the year they wanted to last year. They were expected to win the West. They don't do that. They actually have a really, really bad year in terms of Wisconsin football. So you're going to learn a lot about both of those programs. I think that's going to be an awesome one. Jake.
No, you guys name all of yours. And I'll give mine.
Okay, Jake. All right, Jake.
His
is
that good, huh?
Yeah.
Roll ours off. All right, JP.
Yep. I'll go to the October game that I got circled on here. I'm going September, October, November here. How about Ohio State at Oregon? Again, this is one where I think Ohio State will be favored. If they are, it's really short. If not, I could see Oregon be favored, get 3 points, 4 points for home field and how talented they are. But you want to see who's going to have a chance to solidify their spot in the Big Ten title and legitimately be a top 4 seed in the playoff. Winner of this one's going to have a real shot at that for the Big Ten. So Ohio State at Oregon, I believe they have played at Oregon in the last 6 years, right? Like when was the game that Oregon went to the shoe and beat them? Was it 21?
19?
21.
Or is it
19? Was it 21?
I don't. Was it before?
It was one of the Iowa State games that I was at. That's why I only remember. I think you're right, Parks. I think it was 19.
It was pre-COVID. Okay, but Ohio State did go to Eugene the year before or the year after. Correct.
Had to be the year before.
I feel like they did. Anyway, these are 2 teams that are going to be ranked in my assumption in the top 5, if not 6, in the preseason polls. You're going to go to Eugene if you're Ohio State, and you're going to plug a quarterback in there. That's got to really step up into this system against an elite defense in an electric environment. Conference realignment sucks, but when you get Ohio State at Oregon for a chance to go to the Big Ten title, it kind of softens the blow a little bit.
Yeah, that one is probably at the top of my in-conference game list that I'm pumped for because they already have a little recent history that gets the fans into it a bit more. My next one, I'm going to Florida State at Notre Dame. I can't remember if this is week 9, 10, or 11 because it's right around that time frame where everybody's had buys or not. But this is going to tell you a lot because, I mean, they're going to be late in the year. You've kind of already established things. They're going to be better when they first started, but you have a lot of big players in this game. You got a Florida State team that's going to be towards the end of their ACC schedule, which you expect them to handle. But you have a Notre Dame team that I think everybody is kind of just letting in the back door when it comes to talking about the college football playoff. And they have, I looked at Notre Dame's full schedule. They only have about 4 games on there that are a toss up. And that may seem like, hey, there's a lot of schools that have that, but like Notre Dame's not toss-up games are like dominant games. Like they do not have a very tough schedule outside of those 4. One of them being USC, which could be on your guys' list. But Florida State, Notre Dame, that late in the year in South Bend is going to be a barn burner because you got to go up from Tallahassee to South Bend in November. This is November 9th. It's going to be a fun one. So I like that one a lot. Back to JP.
Yeah, I'll stay November 9th here. I'll go Georgia at Ole Miss. And again, another one with teams with like crazy preseason hype. They'll both be highly ranked. Also, the team that is most likely to be favored is on the road. Ole Miss, this is the one you'll probably know if Ole Miss is legitimately good by this time because it is November. But you also know Georgia will be good. Like that's just a fact. I don't see Georgia having a down year, but you could see Ole Miss's pieces maybe not fitting in with the way they attack the portal. Full disclosure though, like Georgia going to Ole Miss and losing, I don't think hurts that much because it's an SEC road loss, and that would assume Ole Miss is top 10, top 5 level good. But Ole Miss losing that one I feel like will give unnecessary pressure and unnecessary knock onto the Rebs. But that one should be absolutely fun. I can't imagine that it won't be college game day or won't be the most. I guess Parks, you were just talking about a game the same exact week. Like it's going to be between these two for game day and the biggest game of the week. So Georgia at Ole Miss, November 9th is the third of 4 that I have here.
All right, I'll go. I like I said before, I don't know if everybody heard this, but all mine are non-cons because you're going to get the conference games, and JP, you're hitting on a lot of them, so I love it.
Yep.
My next one, very early in the year, and it's a team that's fully loaded that we talk about all the time in Oregon, but they are hosting Boise State. And if there's a G5 team, and this may be I'm 12 years old. I remember Zabransky throwing for 500 and then just dominating teams style Boise State, but like it's still a good football program overall. And it's not a team that if you're early in the year, you want to see very often. And Boise State rolls into Eugene week 2, and it could teach you a little bit. I'm not going to say it teaches you everything because it's so early in the year, but it's going to be Oregon's first kind of test, really, because they're playing Idaho week 1. Boise State rolls in week 2. I think that's going to be must-see TV and kind of give you an idea on really how dominant that Oregon team's going to be.
Last one for me. I'll stay on the G5 train here. How about a power school that goes to the G5 school, though? Give me Kansas State at Tulane, September 7th. Tulane, if you want to be the group of 5 representative in the 12, you got to either play this super close or win it. Kansas State, this isn't a joke. Tulane, I think, is a top 2, top 3 group of 5 school this year. Like they brought in legitimate pieces from power programs that had power offers to Tulane. That's going to be a very good football team. Kansas State doing that, you've got to win that if you are going to stay in the playoff hunt. Whether you win the Big 12, I mean, if you win the Big 12, you're in. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that is there's problem written all over that for Kansas State. We saw Ole Miss get in battle with them. Is Kansas State going to be better than Ole Miss was last year? I don't know. But Kansas State at Tulane. So that's my last one.
All right, we gave you like 5 or 6 really good ones there. We've held out. This kid told us to hold out. So, Jake,
I'm glad
give
you
us
did.
the rest of your list. What do you got down there that we had to hold on for?
First of all, honorable mention that we did not. Georgia at Alabama, week 4, I think it is. That I'm sure Alabama will still be good, still be a 12-team playoff contender, but we're going to really find out early what Kalen DeBoer has, and you're hosting Kirby Smart. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
If we're giving out honorable mentions, I'll throw in another non-con. UCF Florida, going to be a good one because you look at Florida's schedule and you think, oh, maybe UCF's kind of the easy part of that schedule with the additions of Penny Boone, KJ Jefferson. That's going to be a battle. So that'd be my honorable mention.
Perfect. It's funny that this is why I let you guys do your whole list first. So I like to go outside of the box. I don't like listening to directions. It's never been who I am. So what better way to cap off this awesome topic than just giving you the best week of college football? What week are you going to make sure your ass is sitting on the couch and you have 3 TVs pulled up because you're just going to be jam-packed all day? I like there are good weeks. Like we get like a week 7 or week 8 where we get some awesome conference matchups. But fellas, you guys named 3 of these games this week. Week 2 is going to be fantastic. It is. This is my favorite. In Parks, kind of like you said it. I love seeing these cross conference matchups. We know what we're going to get a lot of times with these conference games, but when you get other teams from other conferences. This is better than bowl week. Like, this is the true bowl season if you really want to talk about it. So let's run through the list. We're given a little mini appetizer. You're given some little boneless wings on Friday night. You get BYU at SMU. This is also coming off of a pretty solid week one. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's a solid week one.
Mormons beat Dallas. I was just saying Mormons beat Dallas there.
This is I think SMU is going to be a really good football team this year, and this is going to be a good test for BYU, who's going to be in trouble in the Big 12, I think. Then I don't know how good you want to say this matchup is, but I think it's underrated. USF traveling to Alabama. Obviously, we remember last year and how much of a shit show it was down in Tampa with the storm and everything. Kalen DeBoer's second game of the year. I think Alex Golesh is doing a really awesome job with USF. I think they're going to be able to put up some points. Can they do it in Tuscaloosa? All right, let's get to the really good ones. I think this would be a fan favorite with our group here. We have Arkansas at Oklahoma State.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, fantastic game. We support both sides of those schools. Cal at Auburn is another one. Auburn went into Cal and had a dogfight last year. Cal, under the radar team that got some really nice pickups in the transfer portal. Jade Knott's still back. That's going to be an underrated team, and I think it's a great game. Mississippi State's traveling to Arizona State. Two teams with fresh quarterbacks in Blake Shapen and Sam Levitt. Going to be awesome to see them early. Tennessee at NC State. Awesome,
I saw this one.
Awesome. Grayson McCall, you get a host, Nico Maliavo. Great game. JP, you mentioned it. We get Texas and Michigan. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this, one of the best non-cons I think we've had in the last 5 years. So that's going to be great. Kansas at Illinois, Iowa State at Iowa. This is also why I will be sitting at home and I will not be at the game because I don't like going to the This is another reason why. Parks, you said it. Boise State at Oregon. Ashton Jeanty's back. Malachi Nelson gets to play an old Pac-12 school. We remember Washington beat the doors off Boise last year, but it was a slow start. It also showed us how good Washington is. So if Oregon beats the doors off Boise State, maybe we got a national title contender on our hands. So something to keep note. Awesome ACC game. We have Georgia Tech at Syracuse. Two teams we're going to find out early what we got in store there. Not to be mistaken for a conference game. This is a non-con. Baylor's traveling to Salt Lake City. They are playing Utah. Not a conference game.
Isn't it funny how some of those like stayed and Oklahoma, wasn't it Oklahoma and Georgia cut theirs?
Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah. Cut theirs. But Big 12's like, keep them. You already got it scheduled.
We're not going through that. We're not having Utah travel to a G5 school. I have a few more. Texas Tech at Washington State. Awesome game, I think. Oregon State at San Diego State. This will be Oregon State's first Mountain West game in its history. Something to note there. Then we got to highlight it. You guys talked about it. Two awesome G5 games. Troy at Memphis, Kansas State at Tulane. Awesome G5 spotlight there to finish this thing up.
No, that's not it. Come on, man. You can't throw us under the rug. Come on. I was waiting for you to say it.
Oh, you played Colorado that
Colorado.
week. Yeah.
That's Nebraska, Colorado.
Come on, man. List short. My fault. But yes, I actually did not keep that off on purpose. I apologize.
I was going to say, I think that's Nebraska, Colorado week.
It definitely is, which is why I stayed away from week 2 because listening to that schedule just made it hurt a little bit more. I'm probably not going to see a lot of those.
Yeah, I would love to be in Iowa City for Iowa State, Iowa. This might be the year I'm like,
yeah, I don't know, dude. That's a good schedule. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to be at Nebraska.
I mean, there's like Houston plays Oklahoma. That'll be okay.
That'll be a shit whomping.
Yeah, probably. South Carolina, Kentucky. There's a few more that I kind of just glossed over.
Not a bad week. Why the hell is South Carolina, Kentucky week 2?
It's not the SEC playing week 2.
SEC starts early. This is what they do.
Early as can be. But no, I will miss the majority of those because of, I don't know. I think everybody can agree. You go to the game. Comment here from Strubble. Is that how you say it? Struble or Strubble?
I don't think he's going to pronounce how he says that.
Notre Dame at, I'm going to guess A&M because I saw that one on there.
Yeah.
To start the season, Elko versus old QB. That's a good one too. That is a great comment.
We said that. I think week 1's got like 4 really good games, but the rest of them, a lot of teams are playing FCS schools. That's why I really like week 2. Dude. It's not huge games besides Texas and Michigan, but it's a lot of really solid P4 schools playing each other.
That is going to be a good one though, because you got to watch Riley Leonard.
That might be a weekend we
That's
have
a
to
great
get
one.
into one spot, like the crew here, all the co-hosts, and just get as many TVs on as possible because two will not hold us that weekend.
No.
Struble.
Struble.
That,
all right,
Andrew.
Struble. Thank you, Andrew. Come on back and keep dropping those games because that is a great one. I think another one we forgot to mention, week 0, I guess you can count it because it's a little earlier, but week 1 technically on Thursday, North Dakota State, Colorado.
Yeah,
has
I
a
was
little
going to
hype
say
now,
that.
right?
It's going to be, yeah.
It's going to get a lot of eyes.
I mean,
North Dakota State's going to be a hot ticket on Saturday morning when FCS line drops.
JP, North Dakota State week 1, not always a cakewalk, no?
No, I would say don't do it.
Yeah,
I would say don't schedule them if possible.
I would say don't play them or South Dakota State, but what do I know?
Yeah, that is exactly what should be said. Those are legitimate programs that could probably win a lot of Group of 5 conferences.
Last one, I wanted to mention that at first when I read over it, I'm like, there's no chance it's going to be a good game. And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it might. We got App State at Clemson week 2, by the way.
Oh, please be a good game.
I
think App's going to be high flying again.
They went to North Carolina last year, gave them a scare. That was one of the better games of the year.
That's what they do, though. They play games tight. They beat A&M 2 years ago. Like, this is a team that's high flying. It's a little bit different look of an App State team, but it's one that's no joke. Like when they go play people on the road.
Jordan, what if we got together week 2 and we made a pact? We will not watch the game. We'll put on any other game. We'll put on every other game.
I'll be at a bar on this side of town. You go to a bar on that side of town. No. Afterwards.
You guys should
watch the game.
We're turning off. We turn off our phones.
There's no
cut off outside communication. The only thing we're going to see might be the little ticker at the bottom that's going to have our score updates. That's it.
That just sounds like
that's it.
That would be probably so good for your mental health.
We'd have to have like a live stream going or something, or somebody videotaping us or giving. Oh my god!
I'll just text update
bring somebody in who doesn't know shit about from football, and like they have to play it to us.
Yeah, that would be. I think Barstool did that a few years back. That was great television.
He's doing the thing. He's throwing it. It's a touchdown.
It's or just get updates of scores, but don't tell you who. So it's like touchdown, field goal, touchdown. You just don't know who did what when. But people are scoring.
Awful.
You know what the problem is? Week 2 is great because, like, I remember last year, you kind of I was all pissed because Iowa beat Iowa State or whatever, but then they had 3 awesome games. North Carolina App was a great game that I watched. Texas, Alabama last year was week 2, and Washington State, Wisconsin was another good game they had that night. There was a lot of it. I was glad week 2 was as busy as it was to try to take my mind off of yet another painful season of losing the Hawks.
I remember watching Alabama, Texas week 2 in a basement in Boulder, in Boulder, Colorado, after we just got
somebody's house.
Well, yeah, it was like a family. It was a friend's family house that we were staying at because we went to the game, but the Nebraska game kicked off at 10 a.m.
Yeah, to say local time. Yeah, you had so much time.
It was so weird. It was just not a good day overall. I wanted to stay to the end of the game, but when Nebraska got down like 23-7 and like last minute of the third, my buddies were like, "We got to get out of here. We're gonna like people are gonna start throwing shit at us." I was like, "Good, let them." That's why I paid $300 because this is the atmosphere I want.
Yeah, this is what your buddies got to understand. That's what you go to a road game for. You're stepping unless you go to a BYU game and they're giving you free ice cream cones.
Hey,
that's a little different.
Shout out BYU, the nicest fans from the
they
story.
are. They're the best.
Yeah, so shout out BYU. But last one I want to mention, going off Strubel's comment, old quarterbacks playing their former school, Clemson, Florida State, DJU in a Florida State uniform going against his old team. That could be fun as well. So that's a good one.